Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast, all the stuff we didn't get to during the course of the show today. I know yesterday we talked a lot about the Charlie Kirk shooting on the Aftercast because it had just happened. It was so fresh. And there's a little bit more on this today, and then we're going to also do some other things as well. But there's some stuff we definitely have to talk about, like they actually got the shooting suspect in custody. They found him, and it was a result of a lot of different things, like, police work, private citizens coming forward and sharing stuff. Like, I guess his roommate shared stuff that the guy had shared on Discord, and it's like, oh, there's the smoking gun. Like, it talks about him hiding the gun and going to retrieve and all this stuff.
What is Discord?
It's
like
it's a social media platform. It's a weird thing. Like, a lot of gamers use it and stuff like that to talk while you're gaming and stuff. It's another platform.
I've never used it before.
I have a Discord login for work because we were using it at one time for, I don't even remember what for. And I had to ask somebody, I'm like, how are we using this? Yeah. And they're like, oh, it's for this. I'm like, okay, forget it. I don't even want it. It's just learning another thing. And it's not like a super easy, like, graphical interface like a lot of the ones are. It's definitely for younger people that live in that world of just living online. So anyway, that, I mean, is huge news that they got this guy. And so, I mean, that was fast. But I'm curious, like, how long it will take to do the trial, or will this be, we're making an example out of this and we're flying through it. But yeah, like, 22-year-old guy, disenfranchised, angry, and you're just like, dadgummit, man, what are we doing here? But the reason I bring all this up, though, too, is I had gotten an email from a lady. She said, as with many, the murder of Charlie Kirk has been hard on my family. My son, who's been a follower of his for years, is 25 years old. He was brought up in faith and has a knowledge, but I don't know that he ever truly developed a personal relationship or asked Jesus into his heart, unless it was done without my knowledge. But I think he's a believer, but not actively practicing. As you can see in the text message, she sent some text messages to me. He says, why did God let this happen? And does he really love us? And if he does, why? She says, my heart aches for him. I'm so worried about him and his family. I pray and I try to let go and let God, but it's still hard. Hearing you talk about this morning and how Christian artists are weighing in, it just sparked this in me. And I felt I haven't heard anybody really talk about this angle on it, because a lot of people were talking about the facts of it, the problems of it, the hate and vitriol on the other side of it, of people celebrating this man's murder. Those are the people, like, the internet's doing what it does. Like, people are starting to call those people out, and they're finding out where they work, and they're sending letters and emails and stuff to the businesses where they work, and some people have gotten fired as a result of it, which I think
kind of surprised by.
Yeah, like, I think if you take joy in somebody else's murder and you are bragging, about it on social media, then yeah, there should be a cost to that, because there's an element of decency that you do not possess. It's like somebody was saying, how can you be against gun violence but celebrate somebody who died from gun violence? It's a paradox. You can't be both, And so those people, that's been a big part of the conversation. Even just, I mean, it's crazy to think it's only been like 24 hours. But to her point, I think that there is a big thing where people look at this and you look at all the bad in the world. There was a shooting at a high school the same day. There is a litany of shootings last night and this morning, and like at different college campuses, a few different ones, active shooters, and no details yet on if anyone was shot or if it was just was it a swatting incident? Was it real? I don't know. But it's just, the world seems to be coming apart today. And it's hard, and we've talked about this before on the show, and I had written her back, I said, I'm sorry to see that your son is struggling or hear that, but it's an age-old question of why does God let bad things happen? And the truth is, God values free will so much that it collides with goodness, and evil people that choose to do good thing or bad things to good people exist, and good people get caught in the crosshairs, no pun intended. But that's part of the price tag of living in this broken world. And I'm wrestling through something personally now with the concept, and I had probably said it to my daughter when she was little, oh, pray for God to protect us and this, that, and the other. And the reality is God does not protect us physically from everything bad that's coming our way. Look at Charlie Kirk. There's a perfect example. He was an outspoken Christian, and he was doing things that were godly in the way that he approached his theology and the way that he approaches ideology, his politics, all of that stuff. And so for God to not move that bullet to the side, it definitely begs the question, why? Mm-hmm. And then there's a follow-up question to that, because what people instantly say is, well, God has a plan. He's got a bigger purpose. And then people instantly go, well, if he's allowing this guy to be killed for a bigger plan, how messed up is that? Like, these are big questions that people wrestle with. And I don't fully have like the perfect answer for it. And this is kind of what I was writing back to her. It's that there came a point in time for me that I had to rest in the words in the Bible about his ways not being our ways, and me holding God accountable to my sense of morality, decency, ethics, right and wrong, fair play, all of that, and being like, okay, well, it's not going this way, so it's wrong. And then I had to realize that God, who created me and created everything, doesn't owe me an answer. Now, will we get an answer one day in heaven? Hopefully. I'd love to know why, mm-hmm. And when did he get involved? When did he not get involved? Because I do believe in his power to do things, but I would be hard pressed to say God allowed this to happen so that he could be glorified, because mm-hmm. Charlie Kirk's life was already glorifying him. Mm-hmm. Now, would it be bigger now that he is this martyr? You could make that case that more people are going to hear about him, more people are going to, choose to be on, maybe find faith, and that good can come from that. But I would be hard pressed to say that was the plan that God designed when he, knit Charlie together in his mother's womb. He's going to do this. He's going to do all these things. And then one day I'm going to let him die so that more people can come to me. Is that plausible? There are people that believe that very, very stringently. And I could be completely in the wrong,
Do you believe that?
I believe that it's plausible, but then you're creating people to just be murdered, which feels weird to me, honestly. I believe more in the fact that God creates us, he puts us on this earth, and we go through it, and good things happen to bad and good people. Yeah. And that it's what we do with it in response.
Yeah, I think like our reaction is more important than like his action,
right?
Because like that's
or his inaction.
Or, exactly, like it's more about what we do after the fact,
right?
In my mind,
because of free will.
Yes.
So, how I've come to is that
I would love to know this.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know if that's why you keep looking at me and I feel like maybe I need to give an answer for what I'm thinking.
Well, no, because you look like you wanted to weigh in, and so I'm creating that space because I want to know what you think.
I can weigh in. I feel like I've said this. I feel like we've said all of this before. Mm-hmm. If we want to talk about it again, that's fine.
Well, we have new people that join us and things like that, so I think it's still healthy.
Okay. I think that we get to experience love. We get to experience all kinds of things in life that are good because of free will. So when you see your kids singing in the back seat, when you get a hug from your mom or your dad, that's all goodness from God. That's not because of you.
Right.
That's God's goodness. We're allowed to feel those things, experience those things. But that's also free will, and free will also gives people the right to choose to do wrong. And it sucks. It's horrible. I don't believe that God planned for Charlie Kirk to get murdered. I don't think he created us with a mind. He knows that we would have a hard time worshiping someone who allows people to get murdered.
Or planned for it.
Yeah.
Allowing it is still being culpable, but it's easier to rationalize in our human brains for sure.
I don't think that you look at in the Bible when Jesus talks about Lazarus and he sees the hurt, the disappointment, the anger on Mary and Martha's face because he didn't come right when he did. And he was in grief over it.
Right.
Like he cried. So he knows exactly what we're going through. There's nothing that we experience that he hasn't. I think what we have to do is set our mind on things above and not on and below. If we have a perspective that's earthly, yeah, everything is going to feel devastating, hard, and terrible. But if we focus on the hope that God has given us, in that when we lose someone, we know we're going to see them again. You know, like, what is it, Paul in the Bible? He said to live as Christ and to die as gain.
Yeah.
I think if Paul were in that situation, he wouldn't care. He'd be like,
Right.
fine,
That's what he said. He was like,
take me. I get to go.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. But it is sad, scary when we think that this life is the only life that's valuable when it's not. And so I think it's more prudent of us to not make assumptions on God's character, but instead go to the Word, study His character, and get to know Him. Don't make assumptions just off of your limited experience.
Right. It's interesting. You're kind of on the same page with me. I thought you'd be a little bit different on this than me about like God creates things and has this bigger plan, and this is part of the plan kind of thing.
No, I think I don't think He needs any of us. He didn't.
Right.
He doesn't need Charlie Kirk to get murdered.
Right.
He doesn't need that because he can get done anything he wants to get done. He doesn't need bad things to happen to
Right.
prove a point. But we are meant to be the hands and feet of Jesus. So when you reach out, you love on someone, people are able to see Jesus because of our actions, not our words.
What's funny to me is that as we talk about this, and I wrestled through, like, you know, I don't believe that God created Charlie to be born to be murdered. Like that, how could that be His plan? You know, like I don't believe that.
No.
But then Jesus is the problem in this scenario for me that challenges that assumption, is because you go, all right, well then God has Jesus. Jesus was the plan to die and take the sins on. Was that the plan from the beginning, or was it a plan that evolved as sin entered the world through free will, that this was then the solution to that? Or was it known and that was part of the plan from the beginning? It's this is where our brains cannot, it gets really Inception. Our brains cannot wrap around the full and complete picture and concept of God.
Because if we could, then
We'd
we
be
would
God.
we would have all the control.
Exactly.
And so there comes a point where we can hash this out over and over, and you can come and look to others for answers, but you're not going to get the answers that you're looking for. Ultimately, it comes down to this. If you're questioning God's goodness, I get it. I've been there, and I'll get there, and I'll do it again. But if you're coming to human beings to justify God's actions or to get explanation, to get understanding, you're not going to get the answers that you're looking for. You need to spend time in the Word, get to know Him, and create your own conclusion from there.
Well, that's where I've told people you have to decide who is your God and who is Jesus in that scenario first and foremost. Like, that's the first thing you've got to settle in your head. Like, do I believe in God? Do I even believe in a God? Do I believe in Jesus as the only way to God? Because until that is settled, then you can't even move forward from that. So once you settle on that, okay, I believe that God is the infinite creator of this universe, that He loves us, and that He sent His Son to die for us. Okay, I got all those those things down.
Yep.
There you go. This is where it gets tricky, but this is where sometimes you have to go back to your root belief of, okay, this is what I believe. This is the person I say, or the God I say I believe in, and I'm going to have to still stay with that person even though I don't understand their ways.
There's no secret option C.
Yeah, it's kind of like being married. Like, I married this person, and I love my wife. She's the best. But she is one of the most indecisive people on the planet. And it drives me nuts. I can't leave her for being indecisive. I can't leave her for not understanding what's going on in her brain. Because there are days I have no idea what this woman is thinking. There are days I have no idea what Betty Rock's thinking. Today
Sometimes
being one
I
of them.
don't even know.
And so, like, but I've decided that I love my wife.
Yeah.
And she is this person. And so, good or bad, she's the person. She's my ride or die, you know?
Yep.
And so I'm going to always stay in that, even when I do not understand her.
Yep.
And so that's why I think on the gray area where there's the things that we don't understand about God, that's where you do come back to, is his word true? Is he true? And is this the God and the relationship that I signed up for? And if it is, then that is got to be the place where it creates a little bit of grace for not understanding everything.
And he said in the Bible, you will have trouble.
Yep.
That doesn't matter if you're a believer or you're not. You're going to have trouble. You see how the world is handling it. You can choose to go with the alcohol, the drugs, whatever, or you can choose to go with God. There's no secret option C. I don't know what that would look like.
Right.
I guess to me, it's if you're not going on God's side, then you're automatically going to the world's side. There's no like, well, I can do both. I can pick and choose what I want to believe. No, it's either one or the other. You're going to have trouble either way. Do you want to go the world's route or do you want to go God's route? It's going to take a lot of faith for you to go God's route, but I figure it's a lot better outcome than what the world is offering.
Not easier.
It's not easier.
That's the irony of it.
It's not. But I think we've just got to, like you said, you make a decision and you stick with it. And we can't know all the things. He said you got to walk by faith and not by sight.
Speaking of routes, sometimes you need to take a different route where you get away from things and you take a little breather, a little break.
I need a breather.
Gavin's on a social media breather right now. Are you back? Are you back in now?
Yeah, I'm back in.
Okay, that was short.
No, I know. It was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And that's funny because, my wife was like, oh, we're going to fast from social media this week. And she's like, Monday through Friday. And so whenever Friday...
Why she got to include you in it?
I volunteered.
Okay.
That was on me.
Oh.
But I said this morning, I saw her for a little bit, and I was like, oh, I've got my TikTok back on. She's like, no, you have to go through the whole day. I was like, no, it's Friday.
Yeah.
I'm re-downloading my TikTok.
Oof. Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot for work, too, that just you have to
it
do
pops up. It's
with,
good.
with that. But yeah, so sometimes, though, it's good to take a break from all of that. I'm going to be taking a break from all of that because I'm out next week on vacation. I wish I was going to Tunis. But I'm just going to Disney.
Love it. I'm so glad you brought up Tunis because I have a story. There are two best friends boarding a flight, excited to land in Nice.
Tunisia, yeah. I should have said Tunisia.
To land in Nice, France.
Right.
That's their plan. They're going to go to Nice, France. But as they're boarding the flight and looking around, something seems off. They hear people talking about Africa. So it turns out there's a place in Africa called Tunis, which is the capital of Tunisia, Africa. So they told the flight employee, we want to go to Nice.
Right.
Okay. She heard
This is
Tunis,
tough.
Africa, instead of Nice, France.
Oh, so she booked their flights to Nice. So that because I was wondering how they got on the flight.
Yeah, because
so their tickets were actually to Tunis.
Yeah, there was two to Nice, Africa.
Now
Oh, my goodness.
now it makes
So-
more sense.
But it's understandable how that would get confusing because
Sure.
if you're going to say I want to go to Nice,
right.
okay, she hears Tunis.
Yeah.
Okay, Tunis,
Tunis,
Africa.
yeah.
No, to Nice, France.
That was
Yeah,
the
you
part of
gotta
the
throw the
story
France in
I
there.
could not fathom
Yeah.
how they got on the flight. I thought they themselves misunderstood the
No.
PA announcement.
So here are the girls asking other passengers as well as a
Funny.
flight attendant about the destination and finding out the truth of their situation.
Is this going to Nice?
Tunis, yeah. I thought you said to Nice, Nice, which is in France.
Oh.
That's why you confused me. You're not going to France, right?
Yeah, we are.
You are going to France?
Is that where this is going? Wait, where is this going?
Tunis, yeah, in Tunisia.
Tunisia? Where's Tunisia?
In North Africa.
You know, we're going to North
We're not
Africa.
going. Get off.
Yeah, so
So
she's like,
great.
get off the flight, get off the flight.
no, go.
And
Make it an adventure.
Well, here's what's crazy. So they were going to get off the flight, and they were told by the airline, no, sit down.
Whoa.
They said later, you change planes later. So
But in
they
Africa?
land in
Tunis.
Tunis,
Oh.
Africa.
What?
And have to deal with all the...
Yeah.
Because then they
figuring
got
out
to
if-
change to get from Tunis to France, which
Right.
I'm sure is not just an easy
Tunis
little
to-
hop.
Right,
Nice.
and they had to explain it all.
Oh.
And eventually they did get there, but they did take the trip to Tunis, Africa.
So funny. It's interesting that like they didn't create a scene to get removed from the plane. Like, because that's
Oh,
easy to
yeah.
do. You just stand up and start being belligerent.
Right.
And then instead of fighting them all the way to the end when they go, we're going to have to ask you to leave, you go, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, and I was reading stories, I guess, that this has happened before where there was a group of people that
Sure.
wanted to go to,
Nice?
no,
Oh, okay.
somewhere in Mexico, and it ended up that there was another place in California called that. And so you have to just be careful. You have to say after what you're where you want to go. You need to go further. Don't just leave it at
Book it
the
online.
city.
Book it online.
We cannot have cities that are the same name. Like that
dude.
feels like such a disservice to have multiple. Like there's like Paris, Texas.
Yeah.
There's Paris, Tennessee.
I tried to
allowed
go
do
to
that.
Melbourne, Florida. I was flying to see my wife in Melbourne.
Melbourne.
And so, I called. This was back in the day before you did a lot of it online. So I called. I'm booking the trip to Melbourne. And the lady goes, okay, so it's X amount of dollars, which seemed really high. And she's like, and you'll get in sometime tomorrow because of the Dateline thing. And I'm like, wait a minute. It's an hour and a half flight at the best. How am I having all of this? And she's like, no, it's a 20-hour flight to Melbourne. I'm like, Melbourne, Florida? And she goes, no, Melbourne, Australia. You want to go to Melbourne, Australia,
oh my
right?
Gosh.
And I'm like, no, I want to go to Melbourne, Florida. And this lady, because I think instead of like having to go through all the problem of rebooking it, she goes, well, Melbourne, Australia is nice.
Absolutely not.
I know. I'm going to see my wife
Don't
in
do this to
Florida.
me.
Oh,
Wow.
so good.
And that's
That would've
funny
been
though too, because
crazy.
these are such different situations as compared to like a few weeks ago. You were like, oh, I needed to go to Walgreens, and you're like, oh, I just went to the wrong Walgreens.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a very different.
Why do they have
Tunis and
so many different locations in one little area? That is
There are a
beyond
lot.
my understanding.
Yeah, I had tried to order from Waffle House one time, and I went to go pick it up, and they're like, "Oh no, this happens all the time. That's the Waffle House across the freeway." Like, oh,
So
then you have to go over there because I couldn't make the distinction. Do you have any birthdays?
Is that my segue?
Yeah, that's your segue. That's
I
all
haven't
you're
really
getting
been
today.
doing those this week.
I do. I have 2 birthdays.
Oh, let's do it.
Madison wants to wish her son Brayden a happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Mama,
birthday,
to you.
Brayden. He's turning 18.
Oh,
he's a senior in
adult.
high school, plays the guitar, loves youth group, loves his job at a local cafe, and he never misses the Wally Show.
Love that. Love that
Happy
he loves
birthday.
the Wally Show. Love that he works. Love that he plays guitar. Nicely done, sir.
Randy wants to wish his daughter Kylie Love a happy birthday. She's also turning 18.
What?
Starting her first semester of college at BSU, studying to be a forensic pathologist. Oh, I'm jealous. Perfect golden child.
I thought you were going to go, oh, that's so gross.
No, that loves her family and friends unconditionally. I couldn't be more proud of her. Let me add a few more because we are going to be gone. Aubrey, she's celebrating a birthday on the 17th.
Yay,
She's turning
Aubrey!
16.
Wow,
so
a lot
love
of
to dance,
teens.
especially hip hop, Disney World, play piano on the beach. Love the Savannah Bananas. Hey, we talked about them today. And then Maddie wants to wish herself a happy birthday.
Yay,
She's
Maddie!
celebrating on the 22nd, turning 30 years old.
Nice.
She said, I'm a big birthday person, and I am always excited for this segment. Y'all have been rocks for me in my college years, being a middle school math teacher, and now wife and mom. Thanks for keeping me laughing.
Wow, that's a lot of life lived with us, and a lot of time. Because I
Wonder if
guess
she regrets any
I
of
think
it.
we're coming up on like 19 years. 'Cause I think I got here in 2006, and so 16 is 10, 26 would be
either
20
that or
years. So
20
yeah,
Yeah, 2007.
yeah. So I'm almost 19 years here. Holy moly, that's crazy. A lot of life.
Would you rather, or you can pick one.
Sure.
This one is from Randy. The other in all their music is gone forever. Okay? You choose Chris Tomlin or Phil Wickham. Who is
Oh.
gone forever?
Oh, Tomlin.
I agree with that.
Yeah. He has a lot of hits, obviously over the
Yeah.
years. But there's something about Phil, man. Like I just love Phil's
I think-
music. Now,
I think Chris Tomlin opened the door for Phil Wickham.
100%. You wouldn't have Phil Wickham without Chris Tomlin.
Yeah, because Chris Tomlin, I think he was the early 2000s Phil Wickham,
Yeah.
and now Phil Wickham is
Phil Wickham.
coming. Yeah,
Yeah,
in.
because a lot of the Tomlin stuff too, and not to speak ill of Tomlin, because
No,
I'm
we
not
love
going
that
to.
guy.
He's a great guy, but he just plagiarized from the Bible. All he did was
Oh
just
my
write things
gosh.
from the
He
Bible.
genuinely does, though. Although, in fairness, Phil Wickham literally just released a song that is,
Yeah.
It's an old song.
Yeah. How
old
about you
song.
guys write some
Come
stuff
on,
for once?
guys.
Stop just ripping off Jesus.
You heard it here first.
Put some work in. Put some effort in, you two.
All right.
Weekend plans. Everyone's got the weekend plans.
All right. I will be flying out tomorrow bright and early.
Hopefully to the right place.
Headed to Tunis.
Or to Nice.
I'm going to Disney, and I will be there for a week. And literally just because, like, my wife booked this trip back in February, going, you know what? By August or by September, we probably wouldn't have seen Haley a whole lot. It would have been 3 months since her wedding. I'm like, well, we saw her a lot then. And she's like, we should probably book something. And so she's like, before I knew it, we had a trip to Disney, of all things.
Awesome.
So she's like, to see Haley, but...
Wink, wink. Yeah, exactly.
But
we're
she'd
gonna do
still
both.
go if she couldn't go to Disney.
Yeah. No, probably not.
She's like, let's see her at the most magical place in the world.
Yeah, and then Haley weaseled her way into things, which was really funny because my wife booked all these like craft classes and stuff like that, and Haley works remote, and so she can change her hours around. She's like, "Oh, that would be fun. I'd like to do that too." And so now, but you know what? In all seriousness, I love it. Like I love Spencer, her husband. And I like hanging out with both of them. It's fun hanging out with them as adults.
Married adults.
Yeah, and it's funny too because I was like, she was on FaceTime the other day, and I'm like, yeah, I said I'm not looking forward to coming down and staying at your house because we're staying at their house for one night, and then we're going to
See Raisin.
yeah, I know their cat.
Right.
I'm looking forward to seeing Raisin. And then we're going to Disney after that. And so I'm not looking forward to staying at y'all's house. And she's kind of got like offended, like, why? I said, I think Spencer's going to get even with me for all the times that you guys came up here. And I'm like, yep, different rooms. You know, it's our house, our rules, you know.
Mm-hmm. Are they paying for any of it?
I was going to say, what's vacation dad look like
Do you
now?
remember that time that you said when they get married, she's on his check, not mine?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that. I told Marty the other day, I said, we should get down there and take them to like Verizon and go look at new phones like the iPhone 17 and then be like, these are pretty great phones, aren't they? Yeah, you guys want one? Yeah, absolutely. And go, all right, buy it. And then move them over because she's on my plan right now. So, no, I do remember that. Their vacation dad still exists because I'm like, oh, yeah.
You said vacation dad was done and over.
I don't think so because I'm like, when she was like, oh, that'd be fun. I'd like to do that. She's paying for, oh, yeah, they're paying for their, the expensive thing.
Oh, what is that?
The tickets to the Halloween party thing that they do, and that's expensive. Like we didn't pay for those, and so we paid like $30 for the little class.
Vacation dad needs to take care of vacation dad.
Did you just say $30 was expensive?
No, $30 was the little class, so we paid for that. But the tickets to the other thing is like $200, and so that would have been it would have been like $400. So we didn't pay for that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I kind of stayed a little strong.
But if she's like, Daddy, times have been tough.
We're not
I
going.
just don't want to. I can't do it. Because, you know, she would be like, Daddy, I don't think we can go with you to Disney.
Yeah.
And I'm just so sad because we just can't afford it.
Oh, I could see her playing that card one
You'd
day.
be like,
Yeah.
don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it, pretty angel. I got you. Your daddy's got you. I sent her a clip of a TV show last night with a girl whose dad was in the hospital talking about how great he is and stuff like that. And I sent her this clip, and I'm like, see, you have a great dad, too. Don't forget it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
You should have said, also, we're going to the hospital.
Yeah. Oh, man, she gets so wigged out about medical things.
That would probably be pretty mean.
I did one of those things one time where you're like, it was a play on words like, you know, Betty White died. Her hair, and I had sent her a text about that, about something with her mom, and it was really, and she panics texting me because you said this. I'm like, oh no, I didn't mean it like that. I just meant she's not around or whatever. Like she thought she was dead.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she jumps to conclusions.
And why does she think that you would text her that information?
I do not know.
That says a lot about you.
The health stuff wigs her out. Like she jumps to conclusions on that stuff for sure. All right, that's mine. I'm going to Disney. Better rock.
I'm doing a lot of things. I'm getting my hair done. I've got plans with friends. I'm gonna sleep late.
Because you're not going to be here next week either.
Yep, I'm out.
Yeah,
you won't see me.
So many days you had to put in at the
I have
end.
a ridiculous amount of days.
mind-blowing.
Yeah, Gavin's used almost all of his. So Gavin, you're working a little bit, but it's not as hard having to not have to do the show, so you get a little bit more time.
I think I'll take one. I think I revert. At one point, I was going to take Thursday off. I'm just going to take Friday off next week. But
it gives you a 3-day weekend.
We'll get in. We'll work. It'll be fun. We're about to go see our monthly movie though.
Yeah, today.
As a team. So
Yeah.
today we have
Lunch and movie. Yeah, we're doing that today.
That's exciting.
Yep, so I'm looking forward to that. And I guess with that's going to do it for your Aftercast. And have a great weekend. And I guess we'll see you in weeks. But thank you very much. And I appreciate the people that miss us when we're gone. So thank you very much for being a potty.
Sorry.
Wale.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.